Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a fourth part here. So we have to play it out. I'm hoping that you all will listen to it, stay put. If you have to leave, well, what can I do? It is in today's Monday, September 14th, Guyana Chronicle. And it will be on Facebook. You can look at it again if you have to leave, because it will take about more than an hour to finish this entire thing. But pay attention, because it's very topical and very important. And all persons, this is important too, because I am a lover of all. All of this made me remember the number of individuals in the former governing coalition who tried to destroy me and my business. I feel now that they are out of power, and because I, in unison with the United Nations, the United States of America, India, Canada, the United Kingdom, the European Union, the CARICOM, Suriname, Caribbean, the African, Caribbean, and Pacific nations, aka the ACP groups, and the Mandela Elders group of South Africa, and the South American nations as well. I can't recall the name now, ladies and gentlemen. I stood up with them as observer to say what they were doing was wrong. They are out to disaffect me now again, because I said what was wrong, and from that came the RK's Guyana Free Media. They are out to disaffect me again. I had to speak the truth at the conquer and reconquer of the polls, and stand with those who helped Guyana secure a democratically elected government. In addition, I'm actively involved in reading newspaper articles and making commentaries, all in my personal capacity, which has gone viral to tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands around the world. For this, I was clearly marked and heavily branded by the coalition. In view of all this, there has been a conspiracy to use their trolls to threaten anyone or anything else that has to do with me in order to create pressure. Now that we have a democratically elected government, I had a hope that the opposition would have embraced civilized norms and strive for goodwill and integrity in Guyana. For almost half a year, we have seen the devastation in their attempt to steal an election in the country, and that's a fact of life. That is not an accusation. And if the PPP had done that, ladies and gentlemen, I would have done the same thing. And if the APNU AFC were winning the election, I would have supported them. I have, as a Muslim and as a human being, stand for what is right. I can't speak lies. Back to the article. Their attempts clashed with further economic destruction caused by prevailing pandemic, which added more pain to our citizens and country. I've repeatedly said that Guyana is on the throes of greatness, and that the opposition needs to establish a close relationship with the government, and vice versa. They need to build an environment of trust and faith, so the government can look at the possibility of shared governance and the possibility of constitutional reform that will offer power to the various segments of our society. Everyone needs to be empowered. All Afro-Guyanese, Indo-Guyanese, Chino, everyone needs to feel comfortable and protected. But then came the death of Isaiah Henry and Joel Henry, with immediate effect a lawyer and two social commentators associated with the former government. Now the opposition began to incite people. The Sheriff Duncan of the AFC, Mr. Chris Jones of the APNU, and Attorney-at-Law Darren Wade, who were apparently sent by their leaders, had not used the opportunity to incite people, but instead had advised them to wait and see while the police were investigating innocent people would not have been killed. And I don't hear from the APNO segment, or Sheriff Duncan, or Chris Jones, or Darren Wade, or any of the opposition leaders, friends and families, or any of the parliamentarians, any sympathy for the family and the men and women who were murdered, mostly men, I beg your pardon, who were murdered, who motorcycles and their trucks burnt in their homes. I haven't heard a single sympathy from them. Not a single support of care and concern. How do you expect these people to support you in another election? How? Back to the article. Our country is greatly blessed with an abundance of natural resources that make us the envy of the world. What else do we want? Guyana's political leaders, I speak as ambassador of peace, and a man who genuinely loves this country. You all need to find ways to talk with dignity and to build a state of calm in the minds of the people. You need to find ways to eliminate in the minds of those with a penchant for revenge, those who are hurt by the events of the past days, and help to find mechanisms to compensate those whose homes and or businesses have been ruined and whose lives have been lost, so that their families can survive fairly well, albeit in a lifetime of pain and depression. I call on those political leaders who want to ruin people's lives to realize that these things are not healthy. No one lives forever. Please listen to these words, leaders of the opposition and of government and humanity in general. No one lives forever. I'm going to comment here a little bit. You see this frame, this body? Ladies and gentlemen, you see this breath that we are breathing? It will stop one day. And every second that we talk and speak, this frame, this body is getting older and older. And our true wealth is the breath that we have left. Calculate our age. Your age, and realize the bit that is left is your greatest wealth. Don't worry with the money, the corruption, or the lack of corruption, or the investment, or whatever would have enriched people. That is for the bank. That is for your family. Somebody else will spend it out. What you have for you is the rest of the breath that you have been blessed with and bequeathed by God. Use it for righteousness. Use it for good. Use it for peace. Use it for seva, or as my Hindu brothers call it, or service. No one lives forever. None of us do. The little we have left according to our ages is the best of wealth. The little bit of life. The little bit of breath. And yes, we might think we might live to 65, and I'm 65 already, 70, 80. How we would look. What we would look like. Little bit left according to our ages is the best of wealth. Treat it well. Care it well. We must use the little wealth of life in such a way as to secure life, in such a way as to secure a place in history that our Creator and Lord will be pleased with us. In the end, we are all going to leave this world, and the legacy we create, good or bad, is what people and history are going to remember us by. A part two, or another part, will be follow up with this, friends and families. It is what we leave, the legacy, is what people and history are going to remember us by when we die. We all have to die. How can we face our God? Your friend, your brother, me, Haji, Dr. Roshan Khan, and I'd like to give you a vocal piece saying that the words and the ideas shared in this article are that of me, Haji Dr. Roshan Khan, and me alone, and has nothing to do with any institutions, organizations, or commissions, or bodies that I may belong to. Your friend, your brother, saying thank you here from RKS Guyana Free Media in the Raw.